Gemini, welcome to your weekly sidereal forecast for August 17th to the 23rd. My name is Athen, and if you are new to Sidereal Astrology, or if you haven't checked your signs, do check the link down below for that to get the most accurate reading for you, hopefully Geminis. All right, so let's go and look at this week for you guys. You guys had a new moon in your third house of communications, your house actually, last weekend on Friday. And so coming into this week, we're in the crescent phase of that with those new beginnings, perhaps continuing to pursue these ideas, maybe, these new concepts, this new take on life, this new perspective of life, and how you express your ideas in general. And that's what this whole new moon has been about. So as the week unfolds, you'll notice more energy for you to do that. And we exit the week in the first quarter phase, which is a very active time. So the energies are increasing. And I think any new intentions that you continue to work on in regards to learning, communicating, writing, all of these types of things, really just your foundational outlook on life and your perspective on expressing yourself there, I think is a really good way of working with the energies this week. So let's go ahead and look at your ruler to get a general gist of things. Your ruler Mercury is going to be finishing up the transit of your third house going into your fourth house here towards the end of the week on Saturday. So I think you guys will naturally be heavily involved with continuing to do the more practical, rational, again, writing, communicating type of things, or at least oriented more on the thinking side of things, which is very natural for you Geminis anyways. But from Saturday onward, you'll probably notice more of a thinking and wanting to learn more about the sentiments, the personal life, home, family, things like that. And this has really been the important theme for you for about the past couple of years with the North Node transiting your fourth house. This undertone has been for you to connect to your roots, to perhaps get involved with home, family, past, things like that. And now with your ruler getting very close to the North Node, this can become very personal for you, and especially where you can learn quite a lot about that, because the North Node by itself is, it's not a planet, so it's not very outward. But when we have a conjunction here, especially with the ruler, it can become very well known. So it's really about learning more about your life path and growth, which, like I said, right now is certainly about connecting to roots in general. So that'll be the shift there of the mind going into more of the emotional, watery side of things going into next week. But this whole week, for the most part, especially work week, strong emphasis on exchanges, correspondence, communication, things like that. Now we have Venus trining up to Uranus this week. And this has been about you guys perhaps reflecting on some of your concepts, ideas, and relationships perhaps, which is general for all of us, your spirituality, and generally the way that you do express yourself, since Venus does rule your fifth house. So you're redoing, rechanging, continue to be open to how you are, expressing yourself, having fun, that kind of playful attitude on life. And I think you'll find that quite exciting, especially when it's done in the career side of things, or work or public image side. There's been this importance of you guys having more freedom and mixing things up when it comes to your public life, your career, those kinds of big picture areas. And through that, you'll find it quite exciting, but it will come through wanting to mix it up, making sure you are getting enough rest and relaxation, which is important too, with Venus ruling your fifth or your 12th. But really just wanting to understand more about that is really what this comes down to. So can be opportunities for work as well, career type of things, again, because you are wanting to reflect and redo and restructure some of those areas. So that's going to be the emphasis that's really going on, as you can see here in the transit graph, Monday through Friday, is that Venus trining up to Uranus, and that's going to be the strongest energy. Then around middle to later part of the week, your ruler does oppose up to Chiron. So for you Geminis, there's this importance of balancing all of this self-expressive energy, which will be Mercury continuing his transit of your fifth, with this life path stuff. Because with Neptune, first of all, because as you can see, as we get into next week, this is going to be very important, is you've got this importance of faith and trust and going with the flow in terms of anything involving travel and expansion and philosophy and things like that. And so it's important there. This is really the hemispheres, like the left side of the brain, very practical. You guys are very analytical right now, all, generally speaking. But there is this reminder that there is this uncertainty, this right side of the brain, possibilities in life, which requires for you Geminis right now that faith. And so remembering that and balancing that, not going to any extremes with just the faith or just the possibilities and not staying grounded into the practical reality and vice versa, I think will be important. But with your ruler, this is really going to be a healing process because Chiron is shifting back into that ninth house of yours, and Mercury opposing up to it is a reminder that there is those larger things, there is possibilities while things are practical, and through that balancing point, I think you'll find more information. I think you'll find it more secure because Mercury does naturally rule your fourth house as well. So it's going to create a stronger foundation for you emotionally by having that faith and trust and seeing the big picture. And that'll help ease up, this strong, because there's so much energy right now on the very practical day-to-day side of things. So some things there to consider with that. And it can be a healing time. I think you guys can go through a transformational healing kind of energy this week. In general, I think observing your communications will be important. I think there's going to be just an overall redemption of how you are expressing yourself, and in a way that is truthful and is authentic, and it is being your true self, which is Aquarius and Leo axes, but also, having that expansive, that adventurous spirit balanced with the very realistic, very practical side of things. So that's going to be strong for you, Geminis, because we are talking about your ruler Mercury. But another important aspect this week is that the sun is going to be squaring up to Saturn. So, involving the self-expression, Saturn in your fifth house is where you guys have been for the past couple of years, but not this early part of the year because Saturn had left your fifth house. But now Saturn's back in your fifth house, has been for the past couple months, for you to really get disciplined with expressing yourself, really get disciplined with having fun, interestingly enough, with this. So that's going to be a high point because not only is he in your fifth, but he's squaring up to the sun in general. And this is for you very much having to do with the way you express yourself and communicate your ideas and things. So take that mature approach, that grounded path to your self-expression this week. And, this is the classic example where it's long-term pleasure versus short-term pleasure, really in the sense of your ideas, really communicate your ideas, but stay grounded, stay long-term, stay patient. And I think that's the best way of working with this. So that's the gist of the week. Really, this emphasis on your third house can be a busy time for you Geminis, but going into more of the watery energies going into next week, remembering that balance between the domestic and personal side of life as well, actually, with this shift. There's a lot of this energy that's going to be going into your home life, so remembering work, but also remembering that the adventurous spirit and possibilities and not having to have everything figured out, I think will be a good way of managing these energies. All right, Gemini, so have a nice week. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. If you're new to Sidereal or if you'd like a personal reading, click the link down below, and I'll talk to you all next time.